Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse, Frugally, and today I have both a thrift and a dump haul all together, and I'm going to show you how I got these wonderful vintage items and how I staged them in my home to give you some ideas. My husband and I visited a huge mill in Lowell, Massachusetts. It's supposed to be the largest antique space around and found some really lovely things. I thought this was pretty cool, this beautiful finial and the way that they had displayed it. And I just went around and just sort of took a few pictures of some items that speak to me. I really like anything that's more of a vintage or antique style, very utilitarian, almost farmhouse. These items here just really speak to me. Anything that is really sort of a basic, neutral, that can be used in home decor where you can add pops of color for spring. Look at this silly little wooden man. That beautiful cutting board in the background was $250. There's just some really beautiful pieces here. A lot of it was a little bit pricey for what it was. I love those two wooden architectural frames. Look at this rocking cradle. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. So I just snapped a couple pictures because there were a lot of people. And then they had one little room just filled with all this antique barn board and scrap wood and fencing and pieces that were beams, all different widths and lengths and heights for sale. These green letters were $1 a piece. I did buy several of them. And I just stuck two of them in my craft room in the little wooden holder where I have a little bit of my decoupage paper, just because they're similar in color and I just like the way they look here. And someday I'll do something with a craft, but for now I just stuck them in there so you could see how sweet they are. I didn't take a lot of the pictures of the items I bought. This green table, oh, love, love, love. Wish I had a space for it. I love shoe lasts. I bought that string, which I added to a green candlestick, and I put a bird on top. I have been wanting to do that for a while, and I love that in my craft room. I can use that string for my crafts, and I just love it as a decor piece as well. Items that I picked up here, but mostly just took some pictures for you to see the kinds of things that are here in New England. We have a lot of antiques available to us, but again, a lot of them are pricey. These beautiful candlesticks out of finials were really lovely, some kind of spindle or bedpost or something. I love the way those look. This child's secretary is amazing. I think this is absolutely a spectacular piece. Hopefully that went to a good home. And they had a lot of wooden trenchers and wooden breadboards and things like that, a lot of baskets, a lot of utilitarian type items for your vintage or farmhouse home. There were a few more updated pieces that had already been DIY'd of sorts, but mostly they were items for you to do your own DIY on or just use them as they are. And here are some items that I picked up. This sweet little strainer, and I just popped a bird and some eggs and a bird nest in that. And then at the dump this week, I found a few things. This box, it has holes with those little picture hanging, what are they called? I don't know. Anyway, you stick them in there and you put the pictures in there. So I am going to be flipping this in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. I am going to use these for very different things, not as you see this here, but I thought for free at the dump. It has a little drawer and very cute, so stay tuned to see what I did with that. Now on this little dump haul, I also got a rolling pin and 4 glass vintage knobs. There was a piece of foam sitting. These were all sitting on the good table at the dump. This very dirty brewery glass bottle I am also flipping, and then that bunny and that tray and that egg cup. You will see the bunny in either the video I just posted or the next video. My daughter wanted these few glass pieces she has on Facebook for sale. That blue vintage teacup and saucer is worth almost $100. She already sold these two Chinese bowls, and she's already sold this Wedgwood perfume bottle. It is empty but new, and still has its box and everything, and so she has sold those pieces. And this jadeite piece is worth $200 sitting on the table at the dump. I passed right by it. It wasn't my style. She loved it, and so good for her. She'll hopefully make some money on those items. And I absolutely love these little pieces I picked up at the antique store. Now I paid, I think, $2 for the thread. I think $4 or $5 on the little child's shoe last, and another $2 for a wooden spool. And I loved the blue on the spool and on the thread goes so well with my kitchen. And then I paid, I think, $2 for 3 of these little vintage napkins. And then I paid $1 a piece for these little glass birds. And then I found this entire thing filled with stamps for $12. And so I've staged for you in my kitchen on my tiered tray the baby birds next to the mama birds that I already had. And then I added the spool, the blue spool, and the blue thread holder as well, with some of those vintage napkins here next to some items that I already had in my kitchen. And I absolutely love the way that this is coming out for this season. And then later on, I did add a few other items to this as time went by. And then this week at the dump, I found this oil can, rusty, crusty, beautiful oil can that I'm going to be flipping. Make sure you don't miss that with Sammy from Unicorn Dust Designs and the Crafting Cousins. That is going to be phenomenal. And I also found a set of coasters at the dump that I have already flipped in an upcoming video. And then I found this gorgeous little wooden box that has dovetailed corners on it. So this was a spectacular find. I can't wait to do something with this. And I found a vintage little cookie cutter or something. I don't know if you know exactly what this is. Drop a comment so I can know. And then I found another shoe last for free at the dump. I am really getting quite a collection of these. Right now with this one, I decided to add it to a basket that I have in my living room with some pink items in it. I thought it was very pretty here. This also hides that center rod that I'm not crazy about. And then I found the funnel often used for canning jar filling. And I decided to go out into my yard to see if I had any vines available to me. And I gathered them and I just wound them around, and I made several grapevine wreaths. And then I made a real small grapevine wreath to begin with to make a nest. Once I had the vine, I went and put some Spanish moss into the hole, and then I took the funnel and I added it to a little pewter hot chocolate pouring thing that I had. I added a little wooden round, put the nest on top of that so that it would be up high enough, and just added some eggs and a bird to make that complete. And I love how this looks. Earlier in the beginning of spring, I made those adorable birdhouses on spindles, and I absolutely love the tin roof with the pewter here and the silver in the butter churn. I'm loving how this area in my kitchen is looking. I decided to add one of those vintage hankies that I had gotten recently to complete the look, and you will have to let me know what you think about these. I think that this is just as sweet as can be. Now, when I was also at the dump, I found two of these silver-plated teapots I will flip in an upcoming video, and a wine crate. Now, my husband was nice enough to cut down the wine crate and make it into a square for me, so that I would be able to put it on top of this beautiful blue piece of furniture I have in my kitchen, so that I would be able to display my cutting boards. I have a number of cutting boards, and I use these crates below for water and other things, so I love to pull that together. So make sure that you hit subscribe if you are not subscribed, hit like if you enjoyed this content, and let me know what your favorite item was, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.